Thanks, Barton.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. So what I'm hoping to do over the next 15, 20 minutes, Fritz, thanks for giving me extra 5 minutes to talk about this, is to really walk you through some of the engineering efforts that are either underway or already seen itself in the product that lower the barrier for adoption, right? Especially adoption when it comes to partners integrating with the Sun xVM portfolio. And when I say partners, I mean ISVs, system integrators, OEMs, resellers, any kind of partner that really looks at, hey, here is a pretty cool portfolio and I can add value to it by integrating my solution to it. I want to talk about some of the things that we are doing from an engineering point of view so that we can make that easy to integrate. And that could be, if you have the next cool thing to manage IB Fabric, for example, or the next cool thing to manage HPC cables, or for that matter. So what I will do is very briefly touch on the Sun xVM portfolio and talk a little bit about Sun xVM Ops Center. If you guys attended my talk in Dresden, some of this might be a little repeat, but as Philippe mentioned at the opening of the consortium, there are a lot of new faces that might have not heard of what Sun xVM is all about. So the first two bullet points I'll try to cover really, really briefly. But most of the talk is really going to be focused on what we are doing with respect to both the architecture as well as the engineering bits. Start looking at integration with partner solutions and products and what kind of ecosystem we are looking at building out. And there are actually a lot of good things that already are part of the ecosystem. There are a lot of agreements that have been made with partners that are already part of the ecosystem in terms of when we launched the portfolio. And then finally, I'll close on some of the key value propositions for why partner with the Sun xVM portfolio. And that could be, what are the unique advantages that you bring to the portfolio. And then just close on, what you need to do in terms of next steps. The Sun xVM portfolio, the key taglines here really are the 4 words that are seen there, right? Which is, it's open, it's easy to use, and it's really massive scale. So these 4 words can be taken and sliced and diced in different ways. But really, if you look at from a partner point of view, I'll show you in the next couple of slides that we are using open standard, industry standard management interfaces so that if you have a partner solution or a product and you want to integrate with the Sun xVM portfolio, it would be very easy to perform that integration, right? So it's very open interfaces, easy to use both from the point of APIs that are available as well as the development kits, the software development kits, the SDKs that we have made available for integration, as well as another key aspect of the easy part that I'll talk to you about is the user interface. We have a very brand new user interface that we have developed for Sun xVM Ops Center, but not only is the user interface easy to use, but also extensibility of the user interface in case you have a solution that you want to extend and integrate with the Sun xVM Ops Center portfolio, you can actually do that. And then, of course, there is no talk in HPC that you can have without talking about massive scalability. So this product and this portfolio is designed to scale at internet levels, whether it is an HPC installation or whether it is enterprise data centers that are vastly spread across various geographies. I think this really is the solution for that. So the portfolio itself consists of 4 products. I will really be spending most of the time talking about the product in the right-hand bottom corner there, which is Sun xVM Ops Center, but just wanted to introduce other parts of the portfolio. The top 2 there are really the virtualization products for desktop and laptop. And I think a couple of previous speakers talked about Sun xVM VirtualBox. This is what the Solaris Developer Edition can be run on. So if you haven't really played around with this, I would encourage that very highly because it's a very easy to use product that will give you the first kind of sense for virtualization, and you can deploy the Solaris Developer Edition, whatever is available that Barton was showing around on this thing. Then the bottom two products are server virtualization products. The one on the left is for a single server virtualization, but it's built as an appliance, so it comes with management features baked into it. And then you have Sun xVM Ops Center, which is a management product both for managing your physical quantities, your physical servers, your physical operating systems, your physical applications that are typically seen in today's HPC environments, as well as it's used for managing the virtual entities that are potentially going to be seen in future HPC environments. That's the thing that we are hearing a lot from our current customers. So just to kind of give you some temporal context here, this portfolio was launched on September 10th of this year, a couple of months ago, and it was a great launch, a great job by our marketing folks. So lots of statistics on this slide, but the things that I want to point out are some of the really cool collaterals that are available if you really want to get and deep dive into what the portfolio is all about. You see the portfolio, xVM portfolio tour, and also if you really want to understand xVM Ops Center as a product, there are both architectural deep dives as well as an entire tour of the product. So these slides are going to be available. Take a look at it. I think it's most of this stuff is on sun.com/xVM. So let's dive into xVM Ops Center product itself, right? So the next 10 minutes, I think, won't be enough to do a justice to the entire product. It's a fairly comprehensive and deep product. So what I'm going to do is give you a flair for it over the next couple of slides, and then I welcome you to come to the Sun booth where we will actually have a demo of the product, right? So basically the idea is that if you want to do the entire lifecycle management of HPC clusters, then you can do that with Sun xVM Ops Center. It has a very easy browser-based user interface that can be used to not only set up your HPC cluster, but do the entire lifecycle management of it. And what I mean by lifecycle management is if you want to get from the left side of this picture to the right side, so from the time your hardware arrives and lands on the dock to the time you want to get it to be a fully functioning HPC cluster. It is the reason the word efficient is important is because by using a product such as xVM Ops Center, you can ensure that the downtime in being able to set up the cluster is really minimally reduced. But not only that, once you actually have the cluster up and running, then the regular management of the cluster, whether it comes to monitoring it and ensuring that it runs at the spec that it's supposed to run, as well as if you want to grow the cluster. So the entire life cycle from the time the hardware arrives to the time it's actually a fully functioning cluster, continuous maintenance of it, as well as the growth of the cluster. So those are the three phases of the life cycle that Ops Center can help with. So specifically in terms of what it does, right, it starts off by actually discovering the hardware as soon as it is plugged to your network. It will provision the hardware from bare metal. So whether it is firmware provisioning, provisioning of the operating system, or provisioning of the software stack on top of the operating system, it does that all in a fairly automated way. And there's a lot of pre-built scripts in the product that will allow you to take this in steps through pretty wizard-driven user interface. Then if you want to update your software stack, right, if you want to patch your operating system or if you want to update the applications on top of the operating system, it allows you to do that. Once the cluster is up and running, it allows you to manage. So it's complete lights out management, whether you want to bring down the entire cluster and you want to bring it up again, power on, power off. Similarly, there are very extensive reporting capabilities built into xVM Ops Center. And then finally, it is designed in such a way that it can be managed from anywhere. All that you need is a a browser. You point the browser to the main controller, and then you're ready to actually use Ops Center and manage your HPC cluster. And there are many value propositions to Ops Center, but I think one of the key ones is really you save time in terms of what you can do, whether it is getting the servers to be discovered and prepare an inventory of your entire HPC cluster, whether you want to do grouping, right? You want to group them into, some servers you want to run CFD applications, and some servers you want to run some other kind of applications. So there are very powerful grouping mechanisms that you can do literally within minutes, as compared to if you were to do this using scripts, it could take much longer. Similarly, provisioning bare metal from firmware, operating system, and applications, that can be done pretty fast. So the big value proposition is whatever you can do faster and increase your productivity. There is also in Ops Center 2.0, which is coming out at the end of this year, we have power monitoring. So you can actually get a power drop per server. And not only can you get the power, but you can also actually look at time series of power and various other resources that you can manage. So you can actually draw time series and find out if there was any anomaly with respect to how the servers have been operating. So let's talk a little bit about how the integration works, right? So at the heart of Ops Center is something called the Ops Center controller, and this is really a basic building block, because this block actually is available both at the agent layer as well as at the proxy layer. So you can use this to scale up literally thousands and thousands of assets that you want to manage. So at the heart of this controller, you have something what we refer to as the data model, which consists of the actual domain model, which is where all the entities that you're managing are represented, and then you have services on top of the data model. So if you want to do simple services like create and report and read and update and delete, you have the services model. So the way an ISV can interact, so this is how the Ops Center browser-based user interface interacts with the entire data model here. But if you are an ISV or if you are a partner, then we have provided this thing called a Web Services Management Adapter. A Web Services Management Adapter that allows you complete control of this data model, exactly the same control that we have when it comes to our user interface interacting with this data model. In addition to that, you have southbound interactions, so you can create drivers. So if you have a specific hardware or if you have a specific application that you want Ops Center to manage, then you can create these drivers that attach very easily down to the controller. So you have either northbound interaction or southbound interactions. And we have applications today that have done both in terms of integrating with Ops Center. Another thing I mentioned is we wanted to make sure that the user interface was reasonably extensible, so that if a partner wanted to use the same user interface real estate of Ops Center, they can do that. So the user interface is broken down into three parts. We have on the left here a navigational part where you can actually add whatever group you want to manage. So suppose you have a new ISV partner that you want to add here, you can fairly easily do that. Middle part is what provide you details of what you are managing, right? And then the right part here allows you to do actions on things you're managing. So the user interface is very modular and broken down into areas where you can actually integrate third-party solutions fairly easily. There are three approaches for integration that we have explored so far. One is ad hoc. The second one is where a partner would want to expose some of the functionality for Ops Center, but you don't have to do deep UI integration. And the third one is where you have Ops Center orchestrating the third party, but also the technology is used under the hood. So this is the ad hoc integration where really this is Ops Center and this is the third party, and you can add some ad hoc both user interface as well as some logic to do it, right? The second one and the third one is where you can actually connect it through the web services management connector, and have your partner solution, and have the user interface still have two separate user interfaces, but you can still interact through the Op Center controller. And then, of course, you have the driver level interaction. And this is how the extensibility of the UI is, where you can actually have a third-party user interface completely taken over by the middle UI panel here. The number of integration projects that we have today on OpenXVM, you guys can take a look at it. We already have a number of partners that have signed up for our OpenXVM and XVM portfolio. Number of partner benefits, in addition to really getting to be able to interact with Sun XVM, both in terms of co-selling and co-marketing, being able to have a presence on the Sun website, and fairly simple steps to get started. You can take a look at this in the slides that I'll give out. And the requirements for the partners are fairly simple, right? You have the API set and the software development kit for you to talk to XVM, and you really have to commit to shipping and supporting product integration within 12 to 18 months of announcement. So here are some of the next steps, in addition to the website where you can go and get more details. And thanks for your time.